From controversial weigh-ins to fiery post-fight interviews, here's everything you need to know about Oleksandr Usyk's most controversial and dramatic moments. Oleksandr Usyk, known for his deft footwork and strategic brilliance in the ring, has not only captivated fans with his boxing skills, but also stirred the pot with several controversial and dramatic moments throughout his impressive career. From heated confrontations to memorable antics that have sparked debates among boxing enthusiasts, Usyk's journey is a testament to the drama that often surrounds world-class athletes. Every great showman knows the importance of setting the stage, and Usyk often does this from the very moment he steps onto the scales. One such memorable moment was during the weigh-in for his cruiserweight unification bout.
WBO #1 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Oleksandr Usyk!
Where his intense stare-down and a sudden, playful smirk broke the tension, leaving fans and his opponent puzzled and intrigued. This mix of intensity and unpredictability has become a hallmark of his pre-fight rituals, drawing both admiration and criticism from the boxing world. But the controversies aren't limited to just weigh-ins. Usyk has been involved in several verbal exchanges that escalated tensions before the first bell even rang. His ability to get under his opponent's skin, whether through a pointed comment at a press conference or a taunting gesture during a face-off, has sometimes overshadowed the build-up to the fights themselves. Let's check out some of Usyk's trash-talking moments. Moving beyond the standard pre-fight intimidation, Usyk infuses humor into his trash talk, making it a unique blend of provoking his opponents and entertaining the crowds. His witty comebacks and humorous jabs, often delivered with a deadpan expression, make him a standout character in the often serious world of boxing. Whether he's mocking an opponent's style or laughing off hostile remarks, Usyk's lighthearted approach to verbal sparring is both refreshing and amusing, keeping the press and fans on their toes. One good example of this is his press conference with Tyson Fury. During a heated exchange, Usyk effectively used his humor against Fury, known for his own verbal prowess. As Fury remarked on the fight being beyond Usyk's understanding, Usyk responded sharply by reminding Fury that even a king can be dethroned, implying that Fury's reign as the Gypsy King was soon going to be over. As many boxing fans know, Oleksandr is known as a man of little words, but rather, he lets his fists do the talking.
Little sausage!
I don't more speak.
In, you fucking pussy!
I'm very happy.
Out.
Usyk's opponents have varied responses to his antics. Some find his humor disarming and difficult to counter, as it adds an unexpected layer to their mental preparation. Others, however, view his behavior as disrespectful, which only adds fuel to their fire. This spectrum of reactions has made each of Usyk's fights not just a physical battle, but also a psychological one. Witnessing how seasoned fighters react to Usyk's mix of mockery and mind games is as intriguing as the fights themselves. For some, it's a distraction. For others, it's motivation. But for the fans, it's always a spectacle, even though he may not be as loud as some others, like Tyson Fury, for example. We can't forget about some of these moments, though, like Usyk versus Tony Bellew. During the build-up to his fight against Tony Bellew, Usyk showcased his humorous side. Tony appreciated the humor, laughing along during the press conferences. However, in the ring, the mood was serious, and Usyk dominated the fight, stopping Bellew in the 8th round. The knockout was a stark contrast to the jovial interactions that preceded it, highlighting Usyk's ability to switch from playful to professional seamlessly. Then there is Usyk versus Murat Gassiev. Before facing Murat Gassiev in the World Boxing Super Series final, Usyk lightened a typically tense face-off by joking about his and Gassiev's hairstyles, comparing them to characters from popular films.
Андрей Борисович, не знаете? Я вам хочу сказать, что познакомьтесь, ну.
Gassiev smiled at Usyk's remarks, showing that even in the heat of a competitive build-up, respect and lightheartedness could prevail. Usyk went on to win the fight decisively, unifying the cruiserweight division with a masterful display of boxing skill. The chess game of words. Usyk's strategic use of language and narrative often leaves opponents unsure of how to respond. For example, ahead of his rematch with Anthony Joshua, Usyk was asked about his preparations for facing a physically larger opponent. His response? A cheeky grin, followed by, "I have been studying the art of war, and sometimes the smallest warrior is the most feared." Such statements, blending humor with a hint of truth, but really showing how Usyk keeps opponents guessing. Not just about his physical game plan, but his mental approach as well. And to be honest, we think it keeps him guessing as well as he doesn't really know what he's saying. During face-offs, while opponents try to intimidate with stares or harsh words, Usyk might diffuse the tension with a lighthearted comment or an unexpected compliment, such as telling an opponent they have beautiful eyes, which disrupts the usual aggressive narrative and often leads to laughter from those watching, including the media. All these details is how we feel when we watch him, but let's see what his opponents have had to say about Usyk's controversial moments. One of Oleksandr Usyk's memorable moments came during a press conference ahead of his fight against Daniel Dubois. The event took place on Thursday, July 13, 2023, in London. In this press conference, Usyk displayed his wit by reciting a poem and performing a rap, which certainly lightened the mood and showcased his unique approach to engaging with the media and fans. Although this didn't look to really faze Daniel, you could see the look on his face that he was worried for the fight. Some fighters see Usyk's antics as a psychological tactic meant to throw them off their game. During one intense pre-fight face-off, after Usyk made a joke about preferring to dance rather than fight, his opponent snapped back, "We're here to fight, not to dance. Save your jokes for the circus." This tense exchange highlighted how Usyk's lightheartedness could indeed ruffle feathers, adding an extra layer of intrigue to their encounters. But these are really just strategic distractions, aren't they? Experts often comment on how Usyk's demeanor might affect the mental preparation of his opponents. A sports psychologist noted, Usyk uses humor as a tool to break the typical fighter facade. When an opponent expects aggression and receives humor instead, it can unsettle them, potentially disrupting their focus. This tactic was evident when Usyk, facing a notoriously stern fighter, repeatedly mimicked the opponent's signature pose during a press event, eliciting laughter from the audience and visible annoyance from the fighter. Trainers and camp members of various fighters have acknowledged the difficulty in preparing for someone like Usyk, who is unpredictable both inside and outside the ring. You prepare for a fighter's left hook, their jab, and their footwork. But how do you prepare for a fighter who jokes about your strategy in public and turns your game plan into a public guessing game? One trainer expressed in an interview, "After the fights, many opponents have reflected on their experiences facing Usyk with a mix of respect and bewilderment. It's tough to stay mad at him." One former opponent mentioned post-fight, "He's a genuine guy, funny, and tough as nails when the bell rings. It's a weird mix that works for him." Through his career, Usyk has not only accumulated titles and accolades, but has also left a lasting impression on those he has faced, proving that in the world of boxing, the battles begin long before the fighters step into the ring. His ability to blend humor with competition challenges the traditional perceptions of how a fighter should behave, making every fight an anticipated event for more reasons than one. So, from controversial weigh-ins to fiery post-fight interviews, that was everything you needed to know about Oleksandr Usyk's most controversial and dramatic moments.